Emma Brooks clutched her coffee like it was the crown jewel. After her first chaotic morning as a legal intern, she took a deep breath, glanced around the office, and whispered to herself, "Coffee secured. Now just walk out without creating a scene." One step, two steps, and then disaster. Her heels snagged on the corner of the carpet like a trap laid by destiny. She stumbled, arms flailing, and reached for anything to stop her fall. Her hand grabbed fabric. AWAISTBAND. The button snapped. The pants dropped. Emma blinked. Her hand was still holding onto a pair of trousers that now lay around a man's ankles. She looked up, and there he was. Boxers, belt hanging loose, long legs, and the horrified face of Nathan Hale, senior partner of the firm, the most feared man in the building. "What are you doing?" he shouted, leaping back and trying to cover himself. Emma stood frozen, her hand still gripping his waistband. I tripped. "I didn't mean to. It was the carpet. You thought my pants were what? A curtain. I didn't know what I was grabbing. And you held on." The room froze. Someone dropped a cookie. An intern made the sign of the cross. Another whispered, "Oh no." Nathan tried to hop backward, his pants still tangled around his ankles. "Let go. For the love of God, let go." "I'm trying," Emma said, finally releasing him like she'd touched fire. "I swear, I'm not crazy, I'm just clumsy." "You think?" he said, now bent over, hauling his pants up at lightning speed. "I'm standing in my underwear in the middle of the office." Emma turned red from forehead to chest. Her coffee cup trembled in her hand. One of the junior lawyers whispered, "This definitely violates some kind of dress code, or sanity clause." The head of HR walked by, saw the scene, sighed, and muttered, "This is a group hallucination." "That's what this is." Nathan zipped up, tightened his belt, and marched toward Emma with that icy smile that meant trouble. "So, let me get this straight. You walk in, yank my pants down in front of 20 people, and you think you can just walk out with a sorry and a coffee?" "I'm Emma Brooks. I'm Dr. Green's intern. I just came in for a coffee and left with a full-blown scandal," he said, half laughing. "You're like an earthquake in heels." The room stifled their laughter. But one analyst choked on a sip of coffee and coughed. "I can clean the carpet or buy you new pants. I have $18 in my account," she said in panic. "Oh good," he replied. "So if I have a black tie event this week, I'll just pick up a pair of used jeans from a flea market." Problem solved. She took a nervous step backward, tripped over the same corner of the rug, and nearly fell again. Nathan folded his arms. "Welcome to the office, Miss Brooks. You've managed in 2 minutes what no one's done in 2 years." Leave the entire floor stunned and gasping for air from laughing. "I'm going to quit," Emma groaned. "I saw your underwear. I can't live with that." "Relax," he replied, finally laughing for real. "The underwear's intact. My pride. Not so much. But you'll get used to it." At that moment, Emma realized 2 things with absolute certainty. First, she had no idea how she was still alive. And second, this was officially the worst first day of any internship in history. Or maybe, the beginning of something she never expected. Emma entered the building the next morning with her head low, walking like she was trying to blend in with the furniture. She held a folder to her chest like a shield and stared at the floor, hoping to make it to her desk without seeing a single human soul. Maybe, just maybe, they had all forgotten. No chance. Well, look who's here. The pants destroyer." Nathan Hale's unmistakable voice echoed down the hallway. Emma's stomach twisted. She kept walking. "Hey, hold it right there, intern," he said, catching up to her with that signature smile, half amused, half infuriating. She turned slowly, forcing composure. "I'm not running, I'm just focused." "Focused, huh?" Nathan crossed his arms, tilting his head like he was solving a riddle. "Just make sure you don't focus so hard you end up tearing someone's jacket today." "Very funny," she muttered, biting her tongue. "Don't worry, my pants are safe for now," he said, tapping his chin. "Although, suspenders might be a wise investment." Just then, Dr. Tyler Green appeared, holding a stack of folders. He stopped, smirking at the scene. "Here comes trouble," he said, eyeing both of them. "Careful, Emma." Word is, when his pants hit the ground, his ego fell right with them. Emma couldn't help it. Icy burst out laughing. Nathan raised an eyebrow, mock offended. "Very funny, Tyler, very." He turned back to Emma. "See, I'm the victim in this story." She straightened her papers. "If you want, I can start a fundraiser for a stronger belt." Maybe even add warning cones around the office to protect you from killer rugs. Oh, that's cute, Nathan shot back, clearly enjoying the back and forth. I'll start handing out safety pamphlets. Title, Working Near Emma Brooks, A Survival Guide. Tyler chuckled. You two are like a sitcom waiting to happen. Nathan smirked. Correction. I'm the innocent bystander. She's the bringer of chaos. Emma put her hands on her hips. Me. I'm peace and order. Peace, Nathan laughed. You've got the subtlety of a hurricane. She narrowed her eyes. And you've got the ego of a skyscraper. I'd say we're even. They stood there, locked in a silent staring contest. Tyler glanced between them, then gave them each a pat on the shoulder. All right, let's get to work before the real boss shows up. He paused, caught his wording, and added, probably shouldn't use the word tier right now. Nathan shook his head as he walked down the hall. Of course not. And Emma, I'm watching you. Rugs, chairs, ties, everything's a hazard. She didn't miss a beat. Perfect. I'm watching too, especially the seams on your pants. His smile widened, and for just a second, the teasing tone shifted into something else. Something almost interested. Emma looked away quickly and followed Tyler into the office. Once the door shut behind them, she exhaled. Seriously, Tyler. Is this normal? Is he always like this? Tyler dropped his folders on the table and sat down. No, he's only like that when someone really shakes him up. Emma groaned, burying her face in her hands. I'm going to be remembered forever as the girl who pantsed the senior partner. Oh, no doubt, Tyler said, laughing. But you know what? I think he deserved it. Nathan's used to running the world. You were like a lightning bolt he didn't see coming. Emma took a deep breath, arranged her files, and smiled faintly. Well, then he better buckle up. Because this lightning bolt has a name and it's Emma. On the other side of the wall, Nathan stood at his office window, adjusting his tie. He wasn't looking at the city. His mind was somewhere else. Or rather someone else. He whispered it to himself, almost unintentionally. Emma Brooks, that intern. And for a man who prided himself on being untouchable, one thing had become very clear. She wasn't going to be easy to ignore. The next few days settled into a pattern. Every time Emma thought she might finally get a break, Nathan would appear out of nowhere with a sarcastic remark, a teasing smile, or a comment about belts and office hazards. And though she tried to ignore it, she found herself catching those smiles more often than she wanted to admit. But that morning, the entire office had a different energy. Footsteps were faster, calls were sharper, and the air smelled more like tension than coffee. Even the buzzing printers sounded nervous. Emma sat in Tyler Green's office, sorting papers, when she noticed how serious he looked. Did something happen? She asked, frowning. Tyler sighed, running a hand through his hair. Oh yeah, something happened. The office is basically on fire. Not literally, but close. Before she could ask what he meant, the conference room door swung open. Nathan stormed in wearing a flawless navy suit and a face tight with frustration. This is insane, he snapped, pacing. I've handled this client for years and MHD. Right behind him entered Mr. Whitmore, the firm's managing partner. A man whose voice alone could drop the temperature in the room. Nathan, he said calmly. The client was clear. They don't want you on the case anymore. Nathan froze. What? That makes no sense. I know this contract inside and out. Whitmore crossed his arms. And yet, you missed something. Something that cost us his trust. Emma exchanged a look with Tyler. This sounds serious. She whispered. That's because it is, he replied under his breath. Whitmore didn't waste time. The client asked for a new lead attorney. As of now, the case is Tyler's. Nathan blinked. You're kidding. No, Whitmore said. Tyler will put together a new team immediately. Tyler recovered fast. Understood. I'll take care of it. As Whitmore exited, the air thickened with awkwardness. Nathan stood stunned. Then he noticed her. Emma stood quietly near the door, holding a folder like it was a bulletproof vest. No, Nathan said, rubbing his forehead. This isn't happening. Tyler smiled, patting her on the back. Oh, it's happening. You're officially on the team now. Emma's eyes widened. Wait me, really, Tyler said. I need someone organized, focused, and not afraid of a little chaos. Nathan scoffed. Oh great. Nothing screams legal brilliance like recruiting the intern who pulled down someone's pants in front of the whole office. Emma straightened her blazer. Don't worry. The only thing I'm pulling down this time is your argument. Tyler chuckled. That was a good one. Nathan wiped his face with his hand. This is absurd. I've worked this case for months. I know every clause, every revision. Exactly, Tyler said, calm as ever. And still, you missed something. Basic. Emma tried to hide a grin. Watching Nathan unravel was strangely satisfying. Oh, Tyler added. And the client requested your name be removed from the record entirely. They don't want to see you involved. Nathan took a sharp breath. Perfect, great, wonderful. He turned to Emma. Just so you know, intern, this isn't over. She crossed her arms and held his gaze. For me, it's already off to a great start. Nathan blinked. No comeback. A rare moment. Well then, he said, trying to reclaim his authority, I have better things to do than watch this circus go up in flames. He walked toward the door, paused dramatically, and looked back. Try not to trip over your own ego, intern. Emma smiled. And you be careful with your buttons. Tyler shook his head, already settling into his chair. Oh boy. This is going to be fun. What none of them realized in that moment was that this case wouldn't just change the firm's direction, it was about to change everything. The office buzzed. Papers flew from printers. Lawyers rushed down hallways. Phones rang non-stop. Inside Tyler Green's office, Emma spun slowly in her chair, staring at a growing mountain of folders. Where do I start? She muttered, brushing hair behind her. Tyler leaned back with a sigh. This case is a ticking time bomb, and it's officially in our hands now. Emma grabbed a folder, flipped it open, and frowned after a few pages. This is the acquisition of a hotel chain. Yep, Tyler said, pointing to the contracts. Massive deal, one mistake, and it could cost millions. She bit her lip, scanning the documents. Her eyes narrowed with focus. She started scribbling notes, highlighting sections, cross-referencing signatures and clauses. Hours passed. She barely noticed. Then something caught her attention. Wait a second, she said, pulling out an older file. She read it twice, then reached for another document, flipping pages rapidly. Tyler noticed the sudden silence. Everything okay over there? Maybe, she said, eyes darting between papers. Or maybe not. She stood up and pointed to a clause. This contract links directly to the franchise agreement, right? Yes. Why? Because if that's true, this doesn't make sense, she said, tapping the paper. Look here. Tyler walked over, took the sheet, and read. His eyebrows rose. No, that can't be, he muttered. He grabbed another folder, flipping through quickly. Emma added, here, compare this section. The clauses contradict the master agreement. If this hits court, the client loses. Tyler sat down hard, running a hand through his hair. Emma, this is a major error. Grand Canyon level, she asked, raising an eyebrow. More like black hole size. If the client found out we'd lose them, and if the other party found out they'd take us to court. Tyler opened his laptop. We need to rewrite immediately. He paused, looked at her, and smiled. You, Emma Brooks, just saved this case. She blinked. Seriously. Seriously. She grinned. Are you going to promote me and double my salary? He laughed. No, but I will say this Nathan didn't catch it. Emma raised an eyebrow. Too busy fixing his pants to read contracts. Could be. Hours later, the conference room was packed. The client, Mr. Sterling, a sharp-dressed resort tycoon, sat at the head of the table, surrounded by assistants. Nathan leaned against the wall, arms crossed, stone-faced. Mr. Whitmore sat at the far end, ready to oversee it all. Let's discuss the update, Whitmore said. Tyler stood. After reviewing the contracts, we found a critical inconsistency that could have led to significant financial damage. Mr. Sterling sat up. Inconsistency. What inconsistency? Tyler nodded to Emma. Emma, all eyes turned to her. She stood, walked to the projector, and clicked to the highlighted clause. This section of the franchise agreement directly contradicts the acquisition contract. The exclusivity rights would have been vulnerable to legal challenges. Mr. Sterling frowned. This was in there from the start. Yes, she replied. If it had gone unnoticed, your competitors could have sued to break your control over the chain. Silence. Nathan tightened his jaw. Mr. Sterling leaned forward. Did you fix it? Tyler smiled. We adjusted the terms, added protective clauses, and secured the exclusivity. The updated documents are here. He passed the folder across the table. Mr. Sterling scanned the pages. His expression shifted, first skeptical, then impressed. "This is excellent," he said, standing to shake Tyler's hand. Then he turned to Emma. "You're an intern?" She nodded, a little shy. "For now," he laughed. "Well, keep working like this, and you'll pass half the attorneys here." Across the room, Nathan let out a long breath. He adjusted his tie, clearly caught between frustration and something else he hated to admit. Respect. Whitmore wrapped up the meeting, full of compliments and handshakes. As everyone started to leave, Nathan walked over to Emma, his trademark half-smile back. "Congratulations, intern," he said, somewhere between sincere and sarcastic. "Do you want my diploma now or later?" Emma crossed her arms. "I'll take it, and if you want, I can teach you how to win a case without losing your pants." Nathan stood speechless. Tyler passed by, grinning. "Nathan, I think you've officially met your match." Nathan exhaled, straightened his tie, and muttered, "Her name's Emma." As he walked back to his office, that smile refused to leave his face. And deep down, whether he liked it or not, he knew she was about to change everything. If anyone had told Emma that after spilling coffee on the most high-stakes client in the firm, she'd walk out of that meeting to applause, she'd have laughed. But the universe wasn't done with her yet. Later that afternoon, she was sprinting down the hallway, juggling contracts in one hand, a buzzing phone in the other. And yes, another cup of coffee. She never learned. "Emma," Tyler Green called from his office doorway. "Can you take these documents up to contract review on the 16th floor? It's urgent." 16th, got it, she said, adjusting everything in her arms. "And, be careful with," he didn't even finish. "The elevator, the coffee, and gravity." "I know," she cut in, hitting the button. The elevator dinged open. Of course, he was inside. Nathan Hale, perfect as always, leaning casually against the back wall, suit flawless, folder in one hand, wearing that smirk that meant trouble. Well, the contract destroyer returns," he said, nodding at her coffee. "You're brave." Emma stepped in, hit the 16th floor button, and balanced the folders. "Some call it bravery. Others call it reckless optimism. I call it a lawsuit." "Waiting to happen," he replied. "Where are you headed?" "Legal world domination. Contract department. I've got papers to save. I just escaped a 2-hour client meeting arguing about PowerPoint fonts." He sighed. "Psychological warfare." The elevator started its smooth ascent, then it jerked. The lights flickered. A loud click. The elevator stopped. Emergency lights switched on. The floor display blinked off. Emma's eyes widened. No. She began frantically pressing buttons. Nathan picked up the emergency intercom. Static, then a voice. "We're experiencing a power disruption. Several elevators have stopped. Maintenance is on the way." Nathan crossed his arms. "Fantastic. We're stuck." Emma leaned against the wall, trying not to panic. "Okay, it's fine. This is fine. It'll be 10, maybe 15 minutes. Unless it's like last year when it took 2 hours, Nathan added helpfully. She nearly dropped her coffee. "You're joking." "Hopefully," she groaned, slid down the wall, and sat on the floor. "Just my luck, trapped in a box. With you." He placed his hand on his chest in mock offense. "I'm excellent company." She gave him a look. "That's debatable." They stared at each other, silence stretching, not the awkward kind, but the kind full of unsaid things. There, smiles started creeping back. "You know," Nathan said, leaning against the side rail, "you're the only person in this entire firm who doesn't back down from me." Emma blinked, caught off guard. "And you?" "You're the only one who makes me nervous and makes me laugh at the same time." He smiled. "See, I am great company." They laughed, but something shifted. The teasing faded. The room felt smaller, warmer. Nathan looked up, then at her. "I'm not really like this, you know." "Like what?" she asked. "This guy," he said, gesturing to himself. "Always sarcastic, always guarded, always performing." She tilted her head. "Then why are you?" "My father," he said plainly. "He raised me to believe that being the best was the only option. That showing weakness meant losing." She stayed quiet, listening, really listening. "So I built walls. I became the guy who never messed up, never failed, who couldn't afford to." She rested her chin on her hand. "You know that's not actually living, right?" He let out a short laugh. "Lately, I'm starting to realize that." Silence again. But this time, it wasn't heavy, it was close. Intimate. Emma smiled. Behind that polished lawyer mask, there's a pretty interesting human. Nathan raised an eyebrow. Interesting, huh? Annoyingly interesting. He moved closer, kneeling to meet her at eye level. And you, intern, you're more than I expected. Their eyes locked. The air changed. The space between them grew smaller. They leaned in, slower, closer, and the elevator jerked. Lights flickered back on. The panel lit up. The elevator resumed its smooth climb. They jumped apart, fixing their hair, adjusting clothes. Yep, it's working again, Nathan said, straightening his tie. Working, Emma echoed, snatching her papers. The doors opened. A security guard stood there, confused. Everything okay in here? Totally fine, they both said in unison. Stepping out side by side, without making eye contact. What had almost happened didn't happen, but they both knew. They knew nothing would ever be quite the same again. The days that followed were different, not just in Emma's head. Everyone could feel it, especially Tyler Green. He leaned against the doorframe of his office, arms crossed, watching with a raised eyebrow. Okay, explain something to me. Since when does Nathan Hale, the firm's most feared attorney, help interns change printer toner? Emma tried to stay serious. But the sight in front of her was almost too much. Nathan knelt beside the office printer, sleeves rolled up, smudges of toner on his hands. Looking at the machine like it had personally insulted him. I'm not helping, Nathan said, completely unsure how to install the part in his hand. I just happened to be walking by. Tyler raised an eyebrow. Walking by. At the exact moment the printer broke. Right in front of Emma's desk. Coincidence? Nathan adjusted his tie, even though it was already perfectly straight. Yes, total coincidence. Emma crossed her arms, amused. Since when do you know how to fix a printer? Nathan held up the toner cartridge like a trophy. Since now, Tyler smirked. Right, and I moonlight as an astronaut. Nathan stood, brushing his hands off getting more toner on his already stained jacket. Okay, fine. Printers aren't my specialty. Emma hugged her folder, biting back a laugh. So, what exactly were you trying to do? He looked away, seeing if you needed anything. Tyler leaned on the doorframe, pretending to take notes. So this whole stopping dash by dash to dash c dash if dash she dash needs anything happens how many times a day? 3, 4. Nathan adjusted his tie again. The world is full of patterns. I'm starting a spreadsheet, Tyler said. Nathan's coincidences. Column 1. Random hallway appearances. Column 2. Printer breakdowns. Emma took a breath, trying to hide how entertained she was. Guys, seriously, this is starting to feel like a sitcom. Nathan cleared his throat and pointed at the printer. For the record, this machine clearly has a personal grudge against me. Tyler laughed. Or maybe it just doesn't want to be part of your plan. What plan? Nathan shot back. Tyler shrugged. You know, the one where you orbit Emma's desk like a personal satellite. Emma's eyes widened. Excuse me. She looked between them, unsure whether to run or burst out laughing. Nathan crossed his arms, standing straighter. That's all in your imagination, Tyler. Sure it is, Tyler said. You just happened to show up out of nowhere. You never lurk in the file room, never conveniently ask, need anything? Nathan grinned. I'm helpful. Unlike some people who make up wild theories, Emma crouched, opened the side panel, swapped the toner cartridge with 2 quick moves, and pressed a couple of buttons. The printer started humming. Fixed. She stood up. All done. No degree in mechanical engineering required. Tyler clapped. Applause for Emma, and a standing ovation for Nathan's valiant effort. Nathan crossed his arms, pretending to be offended. I feel very appreciated. Emma grabbed the printed pages. Now that we've saved the day, I'm going to get back to actual work. Nathan discreetly wiped toner off his fingers. Of course. I was just passing through. Tyler laughed. Right, just stopping by. Nathan gave Emma a side glance to see if everything was okay. Tyler raised his hand. There it is. Right on cue. Nathan frowned. It's not like I'm jealous. Silence. Tyler slowly smiled. No one said anything about jealousy, Nathan. Emma raised her eyebrows. Yeah, nobody said anything. Nathan realized too late what he'd just admitted. He rubbed his forehead, groaning. Great, perfect, this didn't happen. Tyler crossed his arms. It happened. And I'm mentally recording it forever. Nathan pointed toward the door. It's been a pleasure. I have very important things to do. Like checking if Emma needs more toner, Tyler asked. Nathan gave her a quick glance. Maybe. He exited like a man trying to look casual but failing miserably. Emma stood at her desk, watching the door swing closed. He's not even trying to hide it anymore. Tyler shook his head. Nope, and honestly, this is getting better by the minute. Emma's heels clicked through the hallway as whispers followed her like a trail. Something was up. The office felt charged. Like everyone was in on a secret except her. Smirks, sideways glances, quiet chuckles. She tightened her grip on her folders. Okay, she muttered, what's going on? Did someone install a spoiler alert for my life? Inside the main conference room, senior partner Whitmore was setting up the quarterly performance review. The large screen at the front displayed graphs, metrics, and one bold heading. Employee of the Month, Emma Brooks. Intern Nathan Hale sat at the far end of the table. Arms crossed, trying and failing to hide a smirk. Tyler Green leaned over and squinted at the slide. This is not normal, he whispered. Not at all, Nathan replied, adjusting his shirt cuff, but well deserved. Oh, look who's become a fan, Tyler teased, barely holding back a grin. Nathan ignored him, but the glint in his eyes said everything. Whitmore cleared his throat. Good morning, everyone, let's begin. He clicked to the next slide. As you all know, this quarter came with challenges, but thanks to your dedication, we had excellent results. Applause spread through the room. And, he continued, a few individuals stood out. One in particular surprised everyone. He paused dramatically, his eyes landing on Emma, who had just entered and taken a seat in the back. She looked up, confused, and then mortified. Our highlight this quarter is someone who, despite being an intern, showed sharp insight, bold decision-making, and saved not one, but multiple contracts. Emma's eyes widened. No, 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 she whispered, shrinking into her seat. Whitmore smiled. Emma Brooks, please stand. The entire room turned to her. Cheers erupted, some clapped politely, others shouted like it was a concert. Tyler clapped proudly. Nathan clapped too, but the look in his eyes wasn't just admiration, it was something deeper. More personal. Emma stood slowly, red in the face. Oh my God, please no. Whitmore continued. She uncovered errors senior attorneys missed, and was instrumental in resolving 3 major cases. He glanced toward Nathan, whose eyes briefly met Emma's. Emma, we're proud to have you on our team, and we hope you'll be with us for a long time. More applause. Emma gave a small wave, tucked her hair behind her ear, and sat down, whispering to herself, I'm going to dig a hole and live in it. As the meeting ended, the conference room turned into something of a red carpet event. People came over to congratulate her, toss jokes, or say things like, you're famous now. Next stop, partner. But none of them topped what happened next. Nathan walked straight toward her. That signature half-smile in place, sharpsuit.com swagger. The crowd quieted as he stopped in front of her. Okay, he said, time to make this official. Emma frowned. Make what official? He crossed his arms. Join my team. Leave Tyler's. Work with me directly. Silence. The room froze. Coffee cups halted mid-sip. Someone whispered, did he just, from across the room? Tyler approached with a cup of coffee and raised an eyebrow. I knew it. Emma stared at Nathan. Are you serious? He nodded, unfazed. Completely. He glanced around. And since everyone's already watching, yeah, I'm officially making you an offer. Tyler laughed. So we're doing this now. Stealing interns in broad daylight. Nathan grinned. I prefer strategically reallocating talent. Emma clutched her folder. You guys, this is surreal. Tyler stood beside her. Careful, Emma. Don't fall for it. He wants to steal your skills. Or maybe, your heart. The entire room gasped like it was a soap opera finale. Whispers, gasps, a few giggles. Nathan straightened his tie. Please, he looked Emma directly in the eye. Don't listen to him. I'm serious. Join my team. Full salary. Bonuses. Your own coffee pod drawer. Emma crossed her arms. That escalated quickly. Tyler chimed in. If you stay on my team, you get double the coffee pods. And I'll throw in an ergonomic chair. Nathan blinked. I have an ergonomic chair. Mine has massage features. Laughter rippled through the crowd. People pretended to work, but eyes were locked on the live sitcom happening before them. Emma took a breath, looked at both men and shook her head. So this is happening. An actual intern auction. Nathan slipped his hands into his pockets. Just for the record I play to win. Tyler extended a hand. We'll see. Hale. We'll see. Hema raised an eyebrow. Should I grab a gavel? Nathan added. Oh, and nobody on my team gets stuck in elevators. Tyler smiled. And my team. The printer never jams. More laughter. Emma couldn't help but laugh too. You two are ridiculous. But inside, she knew. This wasn't just about job offers anymore. This was about something a lot more personal. After the intern auction, the office didn't go back to normal, not even close. In fact, if there was one person who seemed completely thrown off, it was Nathan Hale. He found himself doing things he never imagined, like walking into the coffee shop downstairs and ordering 2 drinks instead of 1. Back at the office, he casually placed one on Emma's desk. Here, he said, trying to sound indifferent. Thought you might want one. Emma looked up. You brought me coffee. He cleared his throat, straightened his tie. No, not exactly. They messed up the order and gave me 2. She picked up the cup, read the name written on it. Emma. She raised an eyebrow. They wrote my name on it. He turned bright red. Coincidences happen. She smiled, resting her chin on her hand. You're getting pretty good at this. At what? At pretending you're not trying to get my attention. He crossed his arms, glanced away. I am not. Okay, maybe a little. Emma laughed, softly. You're completely lost, aren't you? Nathan sighed. And you love it, don't you? A lot. He hesitated, then pulled a chair beside her desk. Look, I'm not great at this. At what? Talking. He made air quotes. Talking to you. She sorted through her papers. Why is it different with me? He took a long breath. Because you throw me completely off balance. She blinked, a little surprised. That was almost a confession. He rubbed his face. It wasn't. Not exactly. She leaned forward. Right? Not exactly. Got it? I don't know how to act around you. I don't know what to say. You know what you're doing to me, don't you? She gave him a mischievous grin. I'm starting to figure it out. Nathan laughed despite himself. This is insane. I've negotiated $1 million contracts. I've stood in courtrooms and gone up against top attorneys. But with you, he pointed at her. I can't even finish a sentence. She raised an eyebrow. When I look at you, like what? He locked eyes with her. Like you know you're the one in control. She smiled, folding her arms. Am I not? He grinned, finally letting go. Completely. They stared at each other. No jokes, no sarcasm. Just the kind of silence that didn't need words. Then Nathan stood up suddenly, adjusted his tie, and blurted, I like you. Silence. Emma froze. Say that again, she asked, eyes wide. He shook his head. That wasn't supposed to come out like that. He pointed at her. You make me. Completely. He waved a hand, searching for the word. Unbalanced. She clutched her folder to her chest, smiling like she was trying to hold in an explosion. Was that a confession or a system error? Maybe both. So, she said, standing slowly, you like me. Is that it? He ran a hand through his hair, smiled awkwardly. Yeah, that's it, intern. I like you. She folded her arms, her smile full of warmth. Well, took you long enough. Time, he asked. She stepped close, picked up the coffee cup, took a sip, and met his eyes. Because I like you too, Nathan. He blinked, speechless. Now, I'm the one who doesn't know what to say. She adjusted her bag strap, grinning. Welcome to my world. Nathan shook his head. This is really happening. Emma stepped closer, rose on her toes, leaned in until their faces were just inches apart. It is, counselor. He swallowed, breath caught. You're completely irresistible when you're flustered. She winked and you just fell for it. They walked out of the office side by side, both trying and failing not to smile too wide. Whatever this was, it wasn't just flirtation anymore, it was real, and they both knew it. The next morning, the courthouse steps were packed. Clients, lawyers, reporters, everyone moving in every direction. Nathan Hale and Emma Brooks walked side by side, suits sharp, expressions serious. Nathan adjusted his tie for what had to be the 5th time. Emma held the legal folder so tight it looked like it was protecting her from a firing squad. Nervous? He asked, glancing sideways. She took a breath. Me. Just a little. He smiled. Good, because I'm nervous too. Her eyes widened. Wait, seriously? He nodded. But don't tell anyone. I've got a terrifying reputation to protect. Inside, the courtroom buzzed with quiet tension. The judge was already seated. The opposing legal team looked cold and confident. Nathan opened his folder. Let's do this. But of course, nothing ever went according to plan. He stood up to pass a document to the judge, tripped on his own shoelace, stumbled forward, bumped into a chair, and nearly took down the file carton. The judge. For heaven's sake! The judge exclaimed, grabbing the bench, red-faced. Nathan quickly straightened up, smoothed his suit, and cleared his throat. Perfectly fine, Your Honor. Just stress testing the furniture. Emma nearly choked, trying not to laugh. The opposing counsel whispered something to his assistant. Both tried to hold back smiles. Even the judge adjusted his glasses with a sigh. Very well. Let's proceed. Carefully, Nathan returned to the table, took a long breath, and muttered to Emma, "Not one word." She nodded, biting her lip. Not a word. Despite the rocky start, the two of them were flawless. Sharp arguments, bulletproof reasoning, seamless transitions. It was like watching a team that had worked together for years. Emma stood to deliver. A clause interpretation so clear the judge leaned forward with interest. Nathan countered a challenge from opposing counsel with such precision that the courtroom fell into uneasy silence. After nearly 3 hours of statements, objections, and back-and-forth sparring, the judge finally banged the gavel. This court rules in favor of the defense. Case closed. Their client leaped from his seat. Overjoyed, Nathan and Emma locked eyes. They bumped fists, small, subtle, but the energy behind it was massive. "We did it," she whispered. "We did," he said, grinning. They exited the courtroom. Steps light, tension gone. But just as they reached the hallway, Nathan stopped. "Emma." She turned. "Yeah," he took a breath. "I'm not waiting anymore." "Waiting for what?" she asked. He didn't answer. He stepped forward, wrapped an arm around her waist, and kissed her. Right there, in the middle of the courthouse hallway. Attorneys, clients, and court officers all frozen mid-step, watching. Behind a marble column, Tyler Green peeked out, phone in hand. "I knew it," he whispered, clearly recording. One of the assistants clutched her heart. Finally, the kiss wasn't short. It wasn't hesitant, it was everything they hadn't said in weeks. Everything they'd held back, real deep, completely consuming, when they finally pulled apart. Both were breathless, cheeks burning. "Wow," Emma whispered, eyes sparkling. "Yeah," Nathan said, still holding her from behind the column. Tyler added, "Someone hand me a tissue. This is better than my favorite movie." Applause erupted. The entire legal team, assistants, even one of the opposing attorneys clapped. Nathan looked at Emma with a mix of smugness and sincerity. "This is officially the best case win of my life." She smiled, squeezing his hand. "And this is one contract I have no intention of canceling." They didn't need to say it. The courtroom wasn't the only place. They had just one dot after the most talked about kiss in courthouse history. And probably in the firm's history. Life didn't go back to normal for Nathan Hale and Emma Brooks. Then, again, normal had never really been their thing. The very next morning, when Emma entered the office, she found a printed sign taped to the breakroom door. Effective immediately. "Rooting against this couple is forbidden. Management or just the gossip squad." She laughed under her breath and walked in only to find Nathan already there, casually leaning against the counter in a crisp suit, holding 2 coffees. "Morning, intern," he said, handing her one. She crossed her arms. "Morning, counselor. And at this point, I think I deserve a new nickname." He tilted his head. "Maybe, future Mrs. Hale." Her eyebrow arched. "Careful. You're getting ahead of yourself." He shrugged, sipping his coffee. "You never know." Just then, Tyler walked by, holding a folder. Without slowing down, he muttered, "Good luck, Emma. Your biggest case now is living with that guy." Nathan pointed after him. "Objection, Your Honor." Tyler shouted back, overruled, without missing a step. Emma shook her head, smiling. "He never lets up." Nathan took a breath, folded his arms. "To be fair, he's not wrong. I'm kind of a handful." She stepped closer, coffee in hand. "And lucky for you, I love a challenge." He winked. "That's why you picked me." Over the next few days, their relationship became the firm's favorite storyline. There were glances, teasing, and more than one mysteriously missing file that accidentally brought Emma to Nathan's office. One afternoon, while Emma reviewed a contract at her desk, Nathan walked in holding a folder. "Got one last document," For you to sign off on? She didn't even look up. We finished everything 2 hours ago. This one's special, he said, setting the folder in front of her. Curious, she opened it. Inside was a single page with the firm's official letterhead, lifetime partnership agreement, non-transferable, irrevocable. She stared, reading. Clause 1. The parties, hereafter referred to as Nathan Hale and Emma Brooks, agree to enter into a lifetime partnership based on love, laughter, support, and shared coffee. Clause 2. Nathan Hale agrees to provide daily coffee, spontaneous hugs, and to share Friday night pizza even when he wants the entire thing for himself. Clause 3. Emma Brooks agrees to remain the woman who turned his entire life upside down and made it infinitely better, and to be his personal counsel, defender, and the love of his life forever. When she looked up, Nathan opened a small velvet box. Inside was a simple, elegant ring. He got down on one knee. In the middle of the office, with everyone watching, Emma Brooks, would you be my personal attorney for the rest of my life? Everyone froze. Tyler peeked out from the corner, holding his phone. Again. Emma covered her face, half laughing, half crying. Objection, she whispered. She paused, then said, sustained. The office exploded into cheers, whistles, claps, even someone shouting, "Get the champagne." Nathan slipped the ring onto her finger, stood, and kissed her. Applause everywhere, and just like that, the contract was signed. The wedding looked like a scene from a movie. A garden ceremony. White flowers. Soft lighting. A gold sign at the entrance read, "Welcome to the most important contract of Nathan and Emma's life." Tyler officiated, of course, and didn't miss his moment. "Emma," he said, "good luck. Because your biggest case now is loving this brilliant, stubborn, prideful, annoying man who is completely in love with you." Everyone laughed, few cried. When Nathan took Emma's hands, his voice lowered. "You came into my life like a storm. You turned my office, my routines, my world upside down. And I never want to go back. I love you, Emma. And if you'll have me, I want forever." Emma wiped a tear. "You were the last person I ever thought I'd fall for. But you're the only one I want. I love you, Nathan, forever. I do, I do." The kiss that followed, was everything funny, real, and beautiful? The reception, pure chaos. Dancing, jokes, favorite songs, and coffee on every table with a sign, "Official toast of this contract. Coffee plus love." They danced in the center of it all, awkward, ridiculous, and completely happy because for Nathan and Emma, the most important contract they'd ever sign had no expiration date.